And what is the overall objective of Israel military action to Gaza?
Before I speak about the target and what we want to achieve, I think we all need to remember what are we talking about. Israel is a country that was established in 1948, and we know war. We had, unfortunately, many wars, many terror attacks, we had missile attacks. This is not the case. What happened last Saturday in Israel was a slaughter. It was an ISIS-style terrorism against innocent civilians. I think the world should understand, and I'll just give you the numbers so we can compare. 1,400 people died, murdered, slaughtered by Hamas. We are a country of 10 million people. Just imagine, for the comparison, Thailand, you are a nation of 70 million people. This is like if you have lost in, less than a week, 10,000 people. This is something that I don't believe anyone can accept. And not only that it was directed against civilians, the way Hamas slaughtered them, I can almost start crying by just thinking and describing it. It is something that is not human. I don't want to say animals. I like animals. I don't think that they are animals. They are monsters. It is a brutal terror attack against babies, children, toddlers, against old people, against young girls. They are happy and they are openly saying, yes, we raped the girls. What kind of monsters are they? What kind of monsters are shooting a baby in front of his parents, shooting parents in front of their young children, taking hostages? They take, dozens of children like 4 years old, babies. They take them as hostages. Today we have 199 people that were kidnapped to Gaza. They are civilians. They are people. This is not a war. A war, you have an army that is fighting with an army. And then you have the consequences. You have also war. You have rules for war. But you are targeting civilians. You are targeting communities. You are killing whole families. You are basically burning. You know that some of the bodies, even today, 12 days after the atrocities, cannot be identified. They burned them completely. They decapitated people. They really tortured the bodies, so it's impossible even to identify and to bring them to burial. This is what happened. So when we speak about the target, what does Israel want to achieve? First of all, no more Hamas. No more Hamas. No more Hamas as government, no more infrastructure, no more military presence of Hamas in the Gaza Strip. But, and this is a very important but, Israel, unlike the Hamas, we do not operate out of revenge. We react, we retaliate, but we do not revenge. We are not aiming, and this is 100%, we are not aiming at civilians. We are aiming at the Hamas, and not only the terrorists, but what we say, the head of the snake. We are aiming at the leaders of Hamas. We don't believe that there is a military wing, so-called, and a so-called political wing. It is one terrorist organization, and the people who lead this organization should know that they are not sure, and they are not safe. They are not safe. Not wherever they are hiding now like cowards, and they are not safe anywhere they will run in the world. We will find them because they are responsible, and the people that are responsible will pay the price.
And what do you say to some people or some nation that say Hamas is not a terrorist group, that they actually are a justified resistant force against the occupation of Israel in Palestine?
I would tell you a few things. First of all, as I described, when people come, they murder, they rape, they slaughter, they shoot. This is not a terrorist organization. This is how you describe a freedom fighter? I don't think so. Second, If you look today at the Palestinian people, also in the West Bank and other places, I don't think they want to be represented by those monsters. Yes, we have a conflict with the Palestinians, but you can solve conflicts when you sit, when you negotiate, when you have some. You do not solve a conflict by raping and slaughtering. This is not the way. If some people in their mind want to call them freedom fighters, I feel sorry for those people. And I want to say another thing. There is a large Muslim community here in Thailand. I think that what Hamas did was terrible for the Muslim community, for Islam, because this is not Islam, this is not the Muslim community. If you ask people here, Muslim people, if this is how they see Islam, if this is how they believe that they should be represented, I believe that if they say honestly, they will say no. We don't want to be associated with those monsters.
There are worry and fears that how this war could escalate and more civilians could get killed. Recently, President Joe Biden just urged Israel to always follow the rules of war. So can Israel promise that every military response to Gaza will follow the rules of wars with the highest consideration to the safety of the civilians?
As I said before, Israel is not operating out of revenge. We are following the rules of war. And more than that, unlike the opposite from Hamas that is targeting civilians, we don't target civilians. We want them to go. We know that there are some areas that Israel is going to bomb, there is going to be fierce fighting over there. We call upon the Gaza population, go south, go to the Gaza River, don't stay where you are. We warn them, we make like corridors, and we make safe places that the army definitely and the Air Force will not attack. What is the reaction of Hamas? They do not let them go. They take their cars, they take the car keys, and it's not me saying. We have recordings of people from Gaza saying, I want to leave, I cannot leave because they take my car. And they have blockades. And why? Because Hamas, again, is committing another war crime. They are using the civilian population, their own civilian population, as human shields. They know that if all the population will go south, what's about them? Who is going to protect them? So they want our side to know that there are still civilians there. Israel does the utmost, really. We do more than, I think we are the most moral, or one of the most moral armies and militaries in the world. We want to make sure that as little civilians as possible will get hurt. If they choose to stay, or if Hamas make them stay, I cannot guarantee 100% that no civilian will get affected. But I know that from our side, we are in a war, but we still do the utmost. We do everything in our capability to make sure that they are not going to be affected, they are not going to be hurt.
And from your point of view, how do you see this war or this conflict could end?
So I think that if you're talking about the future, we are not talking about peace now. We are at war. The Hamas forced the war on us. Unfortunately, we never wanted war. We didn't provoke it or anything. Now we are at war. What will happen in the future? I think the first step is that trust will have to be built, because at the moment, at least from the Israeli, it's very difficult. Definitely with Gaza, but you need to be able, like with Hamas, there is no way there are going to be any negotiations, because this is a terror organization. By the way, not only that they want to kill all of us, the Israelis, the Jews, they want to kill all the, what they call infidels. You are also. We are the first ones, but if we are not careful, if the world is not sending a strong message and a strong reaction, it's going to happen in other places as well. So we need to think to the future, and at the moment we are in war, hopefully one day we can, sit to the table and talk, but it's not now.